friend. A huge anniversary party hosted at an expensive country club just outside Boston. Olivia had been excited about it for weeks. New dress. Professional makeup appointment. Endless group chats lighting up her phone every night. Honestly, I wanted to be excited too because lately, things between us already felt fragile. We had been married for 9 years, but over the last year, something quiet changed between us. Less affection. More emotional distance. Conversations turned practical instead of personal. Still, I convinced myself maybe one good night together would help. Maybe seeing old friends and laughing again could remind us what marriage felt like before exhaustion and routine quietly moved in. So I rented a hotel nearby, bought Olivia flowers before we left, and honestly hoped effort still mattered. At first, things felt normal enough. Olivia looked beautiful in a silver dress that immediately turned heads when we arrived. People complimented us as a couple, asked how married life was going, laughed about old stories from college. For about 30 minutes, I actually relaxed. Olivia smiled beside me, held my arm occasionally, even introduced me warmly to a few people I had never met before. But slowly, the night shifted. More guests arrived. Music got louder. Drinks started flowing. And somehow, Olivia gradually drifted further and further away from me until eventually, standing beside my own wife somehow started feeling strangely optional. I noticed it most around the dance floor. Olivia stood laughing with old friends, dancing freely in ways I hadn't seen in months. At first, I liked seeing her happy again. Really, I did. But eventually, happiness turned into something harder to ignore. She barely checked whether I existed anymore. At one point, I approached while she laughed beside an old college friend named Jason, the guy she once admitted had terrible timing back in the day because they almost dated before we met. "Hey," I smiled softly, "wanna dance?" Olivia barely looked at me before laughing distractedly. "Maybe later," she said quickly, already turning back toward Jason mid-conversation. Later never came. 2 hours passed. Olivia laughed brighter than I had seen in forever, but never once with me. At one point, I sat alone near the edge of the ballroom quietly watching my wife glow beside everyone except her husband. Something about that hurt deeper than anger. Because loneliness somehow feels heavier when the person making you lonely stands 10 feet away pretending not to notice. Around 11:30, I finally walked toward the coat area hoping maybe leaving together would reset the night somehow. But Olivia stood near the bar laughing loudly while Jason leaned slightly too close. She looked free, happy, like she forgot someone came there beside her. That's when something quietly settled inside me. Not rage, not jealousy, clarity. Painfully calm clarity. Because suddenly, months of emotional distance finally lined up into one uncomfortable truth. I had been trying harder to hold together something she barely seemed interested in protecting anymore. I walked upstairs to the hotel room we booked nearby and sat quietly for almost 20 minutes thinking. No dramatic crying. No broken things. Just exhaustion. Eventually, I grabbed the hotel stationery pad sitting near the desk and started writing something I never imagined needing to say. The note stayed painfully simple. I spent all night watching you glow for everyone except me. I don't know when I became invisible to the person who once promised I'd never feel alone beside her. I hope tonight gave you whatever you've been looking for. I just can't keep begging for someone to notice I'm hurting anymore. I'm going home. Ethan. I stared at it longer than expected before leaving it carefully on the bed beside my wedding ring. Then I quietly checked out, left my hotel key behind, and drove home alone. Around midnight, Olivia finally went upstairs looking for me after apparently realizing I had disappeared. At first, she texted casually, "Where are you?" Then again, "Seriously, did you leave?" But according to what she later told me, everything changed the moment she walked into the hotel room and saw the note sitting beside the ring. She said her stomach dropped immediately. Confusion turned into panic before she even finished reading the second sentence. By the time she reached the end, she couldn't breathe properly anymore. My phone started exploding 15 minutes later. Calls, texts, voicemails. "Please answer. I'm so sorry. Where are you? Please don't do this." I didn't respond immediately because honestly, for the first time in months, silence finally felt honest. Then came the message that hurt most. I didn't realize how bad things got. "I thought you were okay." That sentence sat strangely heavy. Because somewhere along the way, my pain quietly became background noise to someone who once noticed everything about me. Olivia came home before sunrise. Gone was the glowing woman laughing at the party hours earlier. Mascara ruined. Voice shaking. I messed up, she whispered immediately after walking through the door. I got caught up and stopped seeing you. Then came the sentence that broke something inside me quietly. I read your note 5 times, she whispered through tears. And every time, I realized I don't even know when I stopped noticing you were lonely. For once, neither of us had easy answers. That night shattered something. But strangely, it also forced honesty neither of us had been brave enough to face. Real relationships rarely collapse because of one terrible night. Usually, damage builds quietly through moments where someone feels forgotten too many times. Olivia later admitted seeing the ring beside that note felt like watching her entire world disappear in seconds. Because suddenly, the husband she assumed would always quietly wait finally stopped pretending loneliness didn't hurt. And honestly, the thing that made her smile vanish wasn't guilt alone. It was finally understanding love can survive mistakes, but neglect quietly becomes dangerous when nobody notices pain until silence replaces patience.